The biggest thing I learned during my pre-fall experience is that everyone's really approachable here. Whether it's professors going to them asking for research opportunities or internship, or making new friends, whether it's your peers around here just going out and talking to them. Everyone here is open to talk, and it's really easy to find your people, your connections, or anything really you're looking for.
We're all in the same boat. First year's coming in, we're absolutely terrified of meeting new people. I think we're all very nervous coming into a new environment, and I learned that since everyone else was just as good as I was, it just made it a little easier for me to build connections with them, something that we have in common.
All of my peer mentors still check in on me when I see them around campus. So it definitely set that tone to be able to know that I was really moving into a community that cared about me and where everybody was kind.
When I came into Loyola, it was kind of hard to know what my place was. I was really unsure about who I was really. And the pre-fall really gave me that head start to know what supports were there, what friends I could make, kind of the path I would take, and really gave me that confidence that I wouldn't have without it.
I came back as a student leader in the subsequent years because I enjoyed the program so much and I wanted to help be a part of that for other people. And I do highly recommend any kind of pre-fall program because it does really help with the transition from high school into college.
Pre-fall taught me to advocate for myself, something that I now use to advocate for others, and I would highly recommend pre-fall to incoming students.
I would highly recommend a pre-fall experience. Both me and all of my peers who have done it have really enjoyed it, and it's really helped make those connections beforehand and make you feel less alone during your first few months at college.